the untold story of Assassin's Creed Unity, Paris, 1789. The City of Light is drowning in blood. This isn't just the story of a game. It's the story of revolution, of betrayal, of love that defies ideologies. Today, we unravel Assassin's Creed Unity, the misunderstood masterpiece. We dive into its secrets, its layers, and the journey of a man torn between two worlds. If you think you know Unity, think again. This is not just Arno Dorian's story. It's the story of a dying age, of empires crumbling, and the gray area where assassins and Templars collide. From the lavish palaces of Versailles to the shadowy tunnels of the Parisian catacombs, we follow the emotional descent and transformation of a man born into contradiction. Unity is about more than just history. It's about identity, ideology, and the question that haunts every assassin. What does it truly mean to be free? Arno Dorian, born to Charles Dorian, an assassin, was never supposed to be part of this war. His early childhood was filled with innocence, laughter in palace halls, playful chases through manicured gardens. But that illusion shattered in a single moment. His father was murdered at the Palace of Versailles in what seemed like a random act of violence. But this was no accident. It was the first strike in a silent war between the Templars and assassins. Left alone, Arno was taken in by François de la Serre, a Templar Grand Master. Irony at its finest, an assassin's son raised by a Templar under the same roof as the very ideology his blood opposed. But Arno never knew. Not at first. His bond with Élise, de la Serre's daughter, blossomed through the years. They were inseparable, two souls growing up in a world of hidden agendas. Their chemistry was electric, charged with emotion and unspoken truths. Yet neither knew the full weight of the legacies they were born into. When de la Serre is mysteriously assassinated, it's a turning point. Arno, caught in the wrong place at the wrong time, is accused of the crime. Thrown into the Bastille as the revolution brews outside, his world collapses. What most players miss? Arno's fall wasn't due to fate. It was due to the invisible strings of a war centuries in the making. And his redemption wouldn't be granted. It had to be earned. In the Bastille, Arno meets Pierre Belec, a grizzled assassin with a sharp tongue and a sharp blade. Belec introduces Arno to the Brotherhood, not as a savior, but as a lost cause with potential. He offers Arno a choice: rot in prison or stand up and fight. During the storming of the Bastille, one of history's most iconic uprisings, Arno escapes into the chaos. The man who emerges isn't the boy from Versailles. He's someone forged by guilt, confusion, and fire. His entry into the Brotherhood is met with suspicion. He's not accepted like Ezio. He doesn't carry the clarity of Altair. Arno is a wild card, more emotional than tactical, more questioning than obedient. He learns to blend into crowds, scale cathedral walls, and strike with deadly precision. But beneath the training, his heart is heavy. Every assassination brings him closer to the truth, but also deeper into the shadows. What many overlook is how Unity shows a broken brotherhood. Factions argue, leaders bicker, and Belec, once Arno's mentor, begins to question whether the creed has lost its way. It's a rare look into the dysfunction of a group often seen as noble and united. Arno is a mirror. He reflects the chaos within the Brotherhood and the chaos on the streets. His internal war becomes just as brutal as the one outside. Elise de la Serre is the soul of Unity. Her character is layered, sharp, and emotionally raw. Raised by Templars, trained to lead, and determined to avenge her father's death, she doesn't see Arno as an enemy, but she doesn't see him as an ally either. Their love is tragic. It's real. It's dangerous. Together, they navigate the murky waters of betrayal, ideology, and revenge. But their missions are never simple. One step forward brings them 2 steps into danger. Hidden letters and journal entries throughout the game reveal more than cutscenes show. Elise never stopped believing in her father's ideals. Even after his death, she refuses to abandon the Templar order. But unlike other Templars, she doesn't seek domination. She seeks justice. Arno and Elise's missions become desperate dances with death. One wrong move, one miscalculated step, and everything could fall apart. The player begins to feel their tension, their frustration, their love hanging by a thread. And when Arno chooses to protect her instead of completing a mission, it becomes clear. He's no longer just an assassin. He's a man torn between creed and heart. Unity doesn't just show Paris, it breathes it. You walk the alleys, witness the hangings, hear the cries of starving children and vengeful mobs. The revolution isn't a plot device. It's the atmosphere. You meet historical figures like Robespierre, Mirabeau, and even a young Napoleon Bonaparte. These aren't cameos. They're woven into Arno's missions, showing the complexities of power during social collapse. Arno walks among both the rich and the wretched. He sees nobles flee with bags of gold and peasants die for bread. Every mission immerses you deeper into the unraveling of a society. And then comes Bellec's betrayal. He tries to kill the Brotherhood's leadership, believing they've strayed too far from the creed. Arno is forced to kill the man who saved him. It's not just a betrayal, it's a heartbreak. From that point on, Arno spirals. He drinks, isolates himself, loses faith in the cause. This vulnerability is what makes him so human, so relatable. He's not a flawless warrior. He's a man learning how to live in a world that doesn't reward idealism. This segment of the story is filled with symbolism. The fall of Bellec mirrors the fall of the old France, believed in rigid structures. Both refused to evolve. Both paid the price. The sage and the secret ending. Germain is more than a villain. He's a sage, a reincarnation of Juno's bloodline, tied to the first civilization. His vision? A reborn Templar order forged in fire. His methods? Ruthless. His ideology? Fanatical. Germain manipulates the revolution, causing massacres, collapsing institutions, and inciting chaos. To him, destruction is necessary for rebirth. Arno and Elise track him through a series of brutal encounters. But the final confrontation is where it all falls apart. Elise, driven by revenge, rushes Germain. Arno screams for her to wait, but she doesn't. In an explosion, she dies in front of him. Arno kills Germain, but his world is shattered. Here's the secret most miss. In the post-credits modern-day scene, we see the initiates recover Germain's corpse. Why? Because his DNA holds secrets about the first civilization, clues that set the stage for future titles. And Napoleon? He finds an Izu artifact, a subtle tease, yet monumental. That small moment hints at his future rise to power, possibly influenced by ancient tech. Unity connects to the larger Assassin's Creed universe in quiet, chilling ways. The lore is deep, but only for those who look. After Elise's death, Arno leaves the Brotherhood, not in anger, but in clarity. He sees that blind allegiance leads to tragedy. He understands the creed is not about killing, it's about freedom. He finds peace in isolation, buries Elise in the catacombs, not for closure, but as a tribute, a place where love and war finally rest. Years later, he delivers Germain's body to Napoleon's vault, a final act of duty, and then he walks away. No titles, no fame. Just a man who tried to do the right thing in a world gone mad. Assassin's Creed Unity launched with bugs, but beneath the glitches was a masterpiece. A story about pain, love, identity, and rebellion. About a man who was never meant to be a hero, yet became one through loss. If you've never replayed Unity, give it another chance. Look beyond the mechanics. Listen to the whispers in the alleys, the heartbreak in Arno's voice, the weight of each kill. Because Unity isn't just a game. It's a tragedy, a revolution, a love letter to complexity. If this breakdown moved you or made you see Unity in a new light, consider subscribing. Let us know your favorite Unity moment in the comments. And remember, history isn't just about what happened, it's about the people who lived it. Until next time, make history.